everyone. This is the 22nd and 24th President of the United States of America. Johnny Appleseed here, with a message for the aliens. Hello, aliens. You can follow Ryan O'Connor at Wrangleshank on Instagram and Twitter. The link is in the description. Also in the description, aliens, is the link to the Bonehead cartoon. Give them a click, won't you? Also, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and wash behind your ears. Thank you. Bye.
It's time for Ink the Book Show with your host, Ryan O'Connor. And now, let's ink the book.
Howdy do, people. It's Ink the Book Show. Ever heard of it? I'm Ryan O'Connor here, inking my first graphic novel called Bonehead. I do it just about every day. Every day I can pull it off. A few days ago I did 3 pages across 3 separate streams. I'm trying to finish inking this book. So here we've got page 160-something, 167. That's what we're doing. Just making it happen by chipping away at it every day. All right, let's get into it. As the kids say. Kids still say things, right? Or have they evolved beyond words? And all is text and TikTok reaction videos. Here's our buddy Bonehead. Let's focus. Focus. I'm going to tighten this up by winging it around this way. There we are. This is how you ink a comic, everybody. So this is my first big project using ink and brush. I learned how to use an ink and brush for this book. And I'm using a Winsor Newton Series 7 Sable Kolinsky size 3 brush. These are the same brushes that Bill Watterson used when he was doing Calvin and Hobbes. So why wouldn't I want to use the same tool? It's also the brush that one of my favorite comic artists, Doug TenNapel, uses for all of his books. And he's only using it because Bill Watterson uses it. I'm inking with Speedball ink, Speedball Super Black India ink. A giant bottle of it on my desk. It looks something exactly like this. Super Black India ink. This is a giant 32-ounce bottle. Now, I wasn't using this let's see, I wasn't using this ink at the start of the project. I was using some Hobby Lobby India ink. And then when it ran out, I wanted to get a bigger bottle so I wouldn't be running out all the time. And this bottle will last long beyond this the what it takes to finish this book. I think it was like the first 50 pages. I used the Hobby Lobby stuff. I'll say before I started inking on this book, I was using some Hobby Lobby brand brushes. Once I started the book, I switched to these Winsor Newton, which I had gotten for Christmas or my birthday or something. And once I switched to these, it was way easier to ink with these brushes, even though they're a bit more expensive. They're like $24 a brush, about, but it's way easier on your hand. You might find to start using these brushes. They're built a little better for inking. And then when I started using the Speedball ink, after using the Hobby Lobby ink for the first 50 pages of this book, it got even easier on my hand. I will say it goes on a little thinner than the Hobby Lobby ink. It's a little waterier on the page. Like, so when I have big black areas, you can see the streaks of ink. You can kind of see through the paper a little more, with this name brand ink, but it is a lot easier on your hand if you're doing a lot of inking. It takes less a toll on you. That was my experience. The paper I'm using is Canson comic book art boards. I think they also have a series called Fanboy, which I probably used for some chunk of this book, but the measurements I'm pretty sure are the same. It gives you all these like little guidelines. So I go by this innermost guideline. It's like a dotted line, light dotted line. And then there's a bigger one here, a solid line. I think anything beyond this solid line, it tells you to expect to be cut off when you go to print. It's got like little notes around the page. One thing that I relied on a lot with the markings here is I kind of use them to help me kind of, for most pages, guide where my gutters went. So now you'll see my gutter here, it's thinner than this. So what I would do a lot of times, because all my gutters are 2 millimeters wide, and this is thicker, I think it's 4 millimeters wide, yeah. So I would go down the middle and then bisect each end of the middle, or from the middle, and then I would go like basically a millimeter in from each of those lines, and that would generally be my gutter. And then this one down here, I split my page into thirds. It's kind of generally my page is based on like 6 panels this size. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 typically. Like if it was a perfectly even page, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I break it up for to make the book a little more dynamic and try different things on each page. I don't think I've done 2 pages the same. Maybe. but I do try to break it up so it's a little more dynamic as you read it. But and then there's ones up here too, and you can see all my little pencil marks. And then, yeah, these ones I don't necessarily go by these almost ever. I kind of use them as guidelines to kind of figure out where I want to place my panel breaks this way, my horizontal panel, or sorry, vertical panel breaks. But yeah. Anyway, that's the tools I'm using. I just use any junky mechanical pencil to pencil my pages. I'm very comfortable. I'm most comfortable using mechanical pencils. I would probably find, I suspect, that if I used some proper art pencils, got my hands on some proper art pencils, or maybe even like a mechanical art pencil, which I'm pretty sure are out there, I would switch to that forever. But like the ink and the brush. But in many ways, I'm a creature of habit. Most of my life, I drew everything in notebooks on lined paper with mechanical pencils, because I was usually in class doodling when I should have been paying attention and learning and exercising my brain instead of letting it rot. But I didn't. But yeah, so I like to use mechanical pencils to this day. When you are inking comics, like, see, back in the day, if I made a mistake, I would start over this whole dang page, because I wouldn't want to see white out all over the page or something like that, or eraser marks. I'd keep tracing it over and over until it was perfect. But that's kind of a fool's endeavor. I would be inking this book for the next 5 years if I just wouldn't lay down a bad, if I refuse to lay down any whiteout. So this is my big helper for this book. I use this a lot. I also use these, so that's the Presto Jumbo Correction Pen from Pentel. It says fine point, but it's a little clunky. Oh, hey, Radiation King. My favorite skull drawing guy. Going good. I'm trying to remember. I feel like were you the one that was recommending you were talking about the East German national anthem? Because I checked that out, and I was expecting it to be ridiculous and just like goofy, like the sun is shining down on. I don't know. I thought it was going to be like really funny or something, but it was really beautiful lyrics. It was just like, oh my gosh, it's such poetry. So I use these Jelly Roll white pens, the Sakura Jelly Roll pens, a lot, but they seem to run out or dry up fast. This seems like it has a lot, but they usually don't get the job done as well as I'd like. Oh, I think I forgot to check it after the show, and then I played it on a stream. I think it was the next stream after you were last in here. And I played that German national anthem. The constant fear of running out of ink while drawing. Yeah, I've got this gigantic bottle. I won't run out of ink, I know that, but the whiteout pens, they, let me see, the whiteout pens run out on me a lot, and I think I'm about to run out of ink for these. I think this is called a feud, and I buy, yeah, see, there's nothing left in my box of inks. These are the refills. I usually get a 12-pack of refills for these Pentel pens, and I go through those pretty quickly, so I gotta order more of those. Oh yeah, I just put this one in. So they've got these little cartridges that you can, I don't know what's gonna happen if I take this out. I didn't want to make a mess, but they just come out of the pen. This I like to use for big black areas in my sketchbook. It can do very fine work, but I don't like how clunky I get with it, so I should be a little braver and use it for whole drawings. I have in the past, but I usually use like Copic multi-liner pens, and then I use that for all the big stuff. But that I need to replace often enough. So brush pens can be so cool. Yeah, I see people pull off really cool art with them, with that pen in particular, which I found out about on Jake Parker's website. He has a tools section, like where I've got a lot of good tool recommendations from that guy's site. Jake Parker's the guy who created Inktober. I think it's called is that the court? I don't know. I think I know it's a Fude, pretty sure. And it's by Pentel. I have a couple of them, and I don't know what I did with my other one, because I think my other one is my good one. Yeah, he's a pretty good artist, and he what was I gonna say? He also does comics and stuff, and I follow him here on, well, I follow him over on YouTube. But he hasn't been putting out too many videos lately. But he's got some good stuff. I think it was his most recent video. He was inking some dinosaur, and it's the first time I kind of like it clicked with me, this technique of that I use a lot more recently. Not all the time, not very consistently. I got to get more consistent with it. But like I'll do my drawing. Well, in this video, he was inking a drawing and went over the whole drawing, doing all the line art with I think it was with that brush pen. And then he would go back over and thicken up the lines that needed more weight, like the underside of lines, and like a lot of times I'll go under his face and I'll just kind of like punch it up, make it thicker, like the underside of some lines. Or let me see, what else do I usually do? Like if his hand was in front of him, I'd go thicker on the foreground object, like this bottle. This bottle I would probably like. So what I was learning from him was he just kind of inks everything with, like, I think I've heard artists refer to it as like they do a dead line where everything's the same line weight pretty much. And that's what he did. He went over the whole drawing with the dead line. So nothing looked, it all looked kind of like flat and samey. And then he would go over, like, so he would do the whole drawing like that, front, background, and then he'd go over the parts that needed to stand out more and beef up the lines. And I guess in the back of my mind, I always thought it was like a wrist thing, like they were doing it as they went. And it just kind of clicked in my head that, like, oh, no, you can just do it as needed, like after the fact. Like look at it and make choices. Because if I had to do it as I went all the time, I would make so many wrong snap decisions. You said, my main problem with creating characters are noses. I kind of run out of different noses to draw. Do you have any area where you kind of ran out? Let me think. I don't know. I guess I feel like a lot of times I don't, like, especially when I look at like Doug TeNaples' hands, I feel like I don't get as, but actually I think there's a lot of artists where I see them do hands and I'm like, I would never have come up with that hand in a million years. I feel like I don't get creative enough with my hand gestures sometimes. I feel like I was just thinking of something else too. It's easier to start out light and then add layers. Got it from a Bob Ross video. Yeah, I've never really watched Joy of Painting. I might have talked before, like that's kind of how my mom learned how to paint, was watching Bob Ross. But I've actually never watched him myself. But that might be a good idea. Now, does he ever walk through, like, I don't know, like how to get started setting up paints and stuff? Because I wouldn't even know like where to begin with oil paints. I think he always uses oil paints on the Joy of Painting. I could always ask my mom how to get started with an oil painting.
But he must have mentioned it in his 18 seasons, right? Yeah, probably. I guess I've oil painted before. Me and my mom took some painting class once for a little bit. I think it was something she wanted to do and she brought me along. We went to like maybe 5 of them, maybe. And then we stopped going. She was like, oh, he's not teaching anything. He's just like the teacher wasn't teaching anything that she didn't already know. So she was disappointed in it. I was like, okay. I don't know if I was necessarily learning anything, but I was doing paintings. We should have finished the class anyway. Oh, so at one point yesterday I was gonna have a can. I went rummaging through my cabinets and I was like, oh, I have a can of sardines here and I have a can of smoked oysters, which I've eaten cans of sardines many times before, but I bought the oysters on a whim. Like, oh, I've had oysters before and I liked them, but I've never had canned oysters. And I knew that had been sitting in my cabinet for a while. So I was like, I should eat those. I opened the package, I checked the expiration date, and I was like, yeah, those should be good. I think it had like another year on it. And I opened the oysters, and I'm like sticking a fork through them and stuff. And I'm like, oh, they're like green inside. Is that normal? I guess it is, but I didn't know it at the time. Yeah. I think I think I'm gonna be cool by eating questionable foods. But then I yeah, I'm like rooting through them and I'm like, they're green inside? That doesn't seem right. Are oysters green inside? I couldn't remember because I haven't actually had oysters in like 15 years or so. And I'm like sniffing them and I'm like, they smell kind of awful. So I like just put them in a bag and throw them outside with the garbage. I couldn't pull the trigger on it. I was just looking it up too, and the green is probably normal. So you usually want to go by smell. I didn't think it smelled too good, but I don't know. It might have been fine. I might have been just overly cautious. But I had sardines. Yeah, there's another time I bought what else? I bought a can of anchovies and they just sat in my cabinet until they were way expired. I always think I'm going to try something new, and I chicken out. I think so. I just kept thinking, like, if I eat those and I get food poisoning, I'm gonna be pissed. Because part of me was like, don't be a chicken. It's just seafood. It's seafood smell. I was like, I don't know. Because I'm not sure how long ago I bought them, but it wasn't
tremendously recently. I'll stick to sardines. You said, have any idea how the story is going to end? Yeah, no, I've I've penciled the whole story already. So, and I do have some pages to add to fix a big mistake that I made in there was a big, what do you call it, a continuity error in the story, I realized. So I have to add some pages. It's going to be about 150 pages when I'm done. But yeah, it's all, it's, the end is drawn already. Oh, I thought you were doing like a southern thing. How's this for an idea? Hey. There we go. You said, fun fact, The Walking Dead is going to end at issue 76. It had 193 issues instead. Yeah, it blew up, I guess. I have a collection. I think it's the first collection of them that's signed by Tony Moore, who didn't seem to be thrilled about The Walking Dead, about selling The Walking Dead to me. I don't know. I thanked him for coming out and told him I was happy to have discovered his art, and he seemed really not too thrilled. Like, I think he would have preferred more people were buying his other stuff. Was the impression I got. I haven't read it at all. Tony Moore also drew 7 out of... Oh, he drew 7 out of the 193. So it isn't really his grand work. Gotcha. He said, but you discovered him because of Das Umfendrende Tot. What's that? Drei laufenden Toten. Never heard of it. Is that a book of his? Oh, gotcha. It's German for The Walking Dead. Yeah, I thought I would like. I mean, I guess I don't know that I don't like The Walking Dead, but it doesn't seem like the kind of thing I would watch. I like zombie stuff, I guess. I like creepy stuff, but something about I don't know. There's like, like that show Supernatural and like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead. Something about shows that feel like that. It's like, I don't know, I just tune them out. I don't even know how to qualify what I would or would not like in a show. Because I like Breaking Bad, and I like Better Call Saul, and I don't know, I'm sure I like there's other drama shows that I've liked. But I can usually tell just by, like, just at a glance if I'm gonna like a show or not. It's kind of a running joke in Europe that Germans always translate popular media. Oh, is it? Man, I miss the vibes from the early seasons, dreaming back to 2012. Great times, simpler times. Is it still 2 shows now? Like, wasn't it 2 kind of simultaneously running shows? Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead? My brother got into it recently. So he was talking to me about it not that long ago, but I don't quite remember. That's got to be in like season, I don't know, 12 or something, right? Wait, you said back to 2012, so maybe 10 years. Is that when it started? 2012? I thought sooner, but maybe that sounds about right, I guess. And Tales from the Walking Dead. There's 3 shows. Oh, wait, it's 6 shows. What the what? I did not know that. The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Walking Dead World Beyond, Daryl and Carol. What the what?
That sounds like a House Flippers show. In The Walking Dead aisle? And Tales from The Walking Dead. It's like Planet of the Apes. 2012 was when season 2 got released. Okay. Yeah, because I was still in school when I met Tony Moore, and I think Walking Dead the show had just started. Wait, 3 of them are yet to be released. Oh, so there's 3 that are forthcoming. Gotcha. It's the Grand Walking Dead universe. Does Walking Dead bring anything unique to zombies? Do they do anything particularly special with the idea of what a zombie is? Like Twilight made vampires sparkly, and I don't know what she did with vampires. But I mean, I guess what I'm asking is, like, is there some twist on what zombies are in The Walking Dead that makes Walking Dead unique in some way? Not really with the zombies, but the situations are unique, I guess. Okay. Yeah, it's like people try to, like, freshen up the genre and stuff, and it's like, well, are we talking about vampires? Are they still vampires? It has the deepest story out of all the zombie media I've seen. Dumb buttons. I feel like I'm hearing some siren that I usually hear on the first Tuesday of every month. Like, they just run a test the first Tuesday of every month. I've heard it every first Tuesday of the month as long as I've lived, and I haven't always lived in this town. I guess it's just common practice around here. But it's not the first Tuesday of a month.
So I wonder what that means. Also, I might be imagining. I can't quite tell what I'm hearing. But I know there was a tornado warning the other day where everyone around me got alerts on their phone at the same time. So I wonder if something's up. I didn't get an alert on my phone today. It's hard trying to write something new, catch yourself and be like, wait, that's just a remix of Snowpiercer or something like that. Yeah. Your European brain just thought shit Russians must be coming. Or shit Russians must be coming. I don't even know what's going on with Russia right now anymore. It was sounding like it was letting up, but I just haven't heard any rumblings of that anymore. Is that still going on? Is that coming to a close? Or is Twitter just protecting me from the news now? It's weird living in a small country, hillbilly state, and seeing military helicopters and fighter jets fly over your town of 3,000. Really? Wow. Is that just recently? Happens like every 2 days. That's crazy. I remember one time, I live in the like suburbs of Chicago, Illinois, and I mean I always have, and but I lived in it like I don't know a couple towns over when I was a kid, like maybe half an hour away from here, and I remember one day we were out playing, and then all of a sudden there was just like a big boom, and like I don't know, it was just we didn't know what the heck happened. We're like, what was that? It like everything seemed normal, but it like I think everything kind of shook. Maybe not, but I know it was just like a big commotion. There was this huge boom, and no one knew what the heck happened. And we found out it was like some jet was just did something where it broke the sound barrier or something like that right near us. That's what I heard anyway. And that national conscription's looking kind of. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay.
Whose face is that? Means every male between 18 and 25 must be a member of the armed force. Oh, every member, really? For every male. So there's like, I don't know, is there every 18-year-old through 25, are they like off doing training and stuff? Like none of them are home? There's like no 18 to 25 population in the home of males? That's probably not the case. Basic infantry training. I don't know which way I want this. So they can be recalled in case of emergency. My roommates just went to Israel during Passover for a wedding. And they were talking about how, like, you know, they went to see all this, you know, these sites out there. And there's just like, you know, guards or military or whatever present, standing around with like rifles and stuff, like just business as usual. And it's like, whoa, that's so weird. Also, they were talking about how like there are these huge like not souvenir, like, yeah, tourist places, but they're like right in front of people's houses. It's like on these people's like front lawn. He said here in Scandinavia, we're freaking out being the only barrier for the second largest fleet in the world. Really? In Israel, the draft is crazy. Every man and woman must serve 30 months of military service. Wow. I believe it, though. I mean, it's just like part of the culture over there. Yeah, while they were there, they're like, Israel, they were like telling me when they got back, they're like, Israel was really cool, but if you if you were to ever go there, probably don't do it during Passover because things get a little more dangerous there. I guess their last day while they were out there, there was some terrorist who was like shooting up places like just down the street from them, and there was like a 9-hour manhunt for the guy. And I think they caught him, but it was just like it was like I think it was a block and a half away from where they were having lunch outside, and then all of a sudden they see like ambulances, police, and then military vehicles all speeding down the road. They're like, what's going on? And then later that night there was a fire right outside their hotel entrance. I was like, can you imagine if that didn't happen on your last day of your trip, but happened on your first day of your trip? All that stuff happened. My one roommate, Lindsay, she would have been like, can't do it. I'm going home. Bye. Have a lovely wedding. I gotta go. They were telling me there were people there that they were talking to that were there on their first day. We're getting kind of nervous being around. What countries have I visited? I went to Mexico a few years ago for the first time. I went to Cancun with my parents and a few of my siblings, and that was wonderful. We went scuba diving. My brother went hang gliding at the very last minute. I should have joined him. I almost did, and I didn't because we were trying to leave, and he was kind of like slowing us down by doing that. But we went on some excursion. We were on the beach every day. Me and my brothers all swam out too far on the beach and got yelled at by the lifeguard. And then we were trying to come in, and it was really hard to swim back in. That was a dangerous move, swimming out farther than the little barriers. Don't do that. I wouldn't recommend it. Africa would be pretty dang cool. The only other country I've been to was Ireland. My mom's from this island just off the mainland of Ireland, and I went there when I was in second grade. There's 7 kids in my family because we're Irish, and my mom always took 2 kids at a time, so we've all been there, but I haven't been there in a long time. And I was really jealous of my roommates when they went to Israel. I felt like that would have been cool. I would love to see some of the stuff that they saw. You weren't talking about Cancun in Congo? I feel stupid now. Oh, no. I was talking about Cancun, Mexico. Cancun. My bad. I never even heard of Cancun in Congo. No, I think that's like a common vacation spot for Americans. Cancun, Mexico. I should have done this line way more confidently. You're talking about Cancun? It was. The beaches were really fun. Man, we all got torn up in Cancun though. Like for one thing, my youngest sister Tara, she stayed out in the sun too long and her face just blew up. Like she got sun poisoning and she looked like ridiculous. And then the last day the same thing happened to me. I fell asleep in the sun and my face blew up for the last day, like when we went on the excursion, like when the day we're out in front of like with a whole group of people. I looked so messed up. Like my forehead was just like really swollen and I looked like a Neanderthal or something. And but we had fun that day. Oh yeah, we went ziplining and stuff. There's these ancient ruins that we went to visit in Tulum, where I remember we got to this one spot where I was like, "Oh look, an iguana!" Like all of a sudden I would spot an iguana hanging, like lounging in a tree or something, and I was like, "Oh look, another iguana! Oh look, another one!" And then I realized, like, oh, I'm like surrounded by iguanas, and some of them are huge. It was just I didn't see any of them at first. They just kind of like blended in, and yeah, some of them are like as big as dogs. I had no idea how big iguanas could get, but they're just like all over the place. And then you say, looks like the love child of Dubai and Tahiti. Those sound like they'd be cool to go to. Have you been any cool places? I liked Ireland. There's one day we went and visited this lighthouse, and it was surrounded by cliffs. So it was like me, my mom, and some woman my mom knew, and I think my grandma too. And so I remember I went over to one of the cliffs. I laid down on the ground, grabbed the edge of the cliff, and pulled my body so my face was over the cliff and it was peeking over. And everyone starts screaming at me, "No, get away from there!" And I'm like looking down at these jagged rocks below me and just freaking out my mom and my grandmother. You said you visited Iceland some years ago. And Iceland is probably the most exotic place you've been to. Is it? It must be cold there, right? But it's not. That's the one that's not icy. Iceland is green and Greenland is icy, right? What's the deal with Iceland. Like, what do they got going for them? Because I really don't know anything about Iceland. There's a place where you can touch North America and Europa at the same time. Oh, cool. I want to see a map now. Iceland. Oh, I see. Wait a minute. No, I don't see. Oh, I guess. Yeah, isn't it like just like an island in the middle of everything? Kind of. Also warms the whole thing up with warmth from the underground. Wow. The beautiful nature. And beautiful nature, of course. Yeah, actually, I think I would really like Iceland, because I have heard that it's a very I love beauty in nature. It makes me happy. Said you visited other countries in Europe, mostly for historic sightings and football. Berlin is probably the city you would recommend the most. Germans are the most polite, especially in traffic. That's helpful. Especially if I'm driving on the opposite side of the road than I'm used to. I remember when I was in Mexico, there was this road right outside the hotel we were staying at. It might have been like a 50-mile-per-hour road out here, but certainly not faster than that. I don't know what the speed limit was there, but I remember thinking it seemed insane how fast people were driving past these hotels. They were like It had to be at least 70. At least 70. The speed that these cars were going down this road was freaking me out. It's like they would be getting pulled over for sure. At least somebody. He said it's not unnormal for a German to hold to the side so others can pass by. Also, in the Autobahn, there is no speed limit. Interesting. I think I've heard that before. I didn't. That seems so strange to me, but it's kind of like an honor system, I guess. Like you're responsible for your own driving responsibility. I don't know. That sounded like a dumb sentence, but you're, if you screw up, it's on you. If you're driving too fast to control yourself. You said Krakow is also an underrated gem. Doesn't have as many sightings as Paris, FX, but is much more tourist friendly. Yeah, I understand. Paris isn't very friendly to their tourists. Like they're kind of over tourism or something. Is the kind of attitude people perceive. Krakow, huh? I was in Canada briefly, but not enough to really get much of an opinion of it. It was weird. It was like on the way to on the way home from Mexico, we had to stop in Canada, which seems so strange to me. We literally traversed the entire span of the country, north to south. To get back to the middle. Haven't been on any relaxation travels. Always some
historic place or a stadium. For like maybe 3 or 4 years, my family was starting to go on because my parent, my brothers and sisters were starting to have kids of their own, and we started going on like big family vacations for the first time with any regularity. And like whenever we went somewhere before, it was usually to visit other family and not much else. I think I went to Texas once or twice. Yeah, we went to Texas once or twice to visit my grandparents, and then I went to Ireland to visit my other grandparents. And then I think that was all the vacation trips I ever went on as a kid growing up. But anyway, so we were going to all kinds of places for a little bit, mostly within the country. We went to the Pocono Mountains. We went to the Smoky Mountains. Then we went to Cancun. I forget. I feel like there was another one, but the last time we did was at least 3 years ago now. I'm kind of jonesing to go somewhere again. I liked the Smoky Mountains a lot. That was fun for me. This is kind of sucks how both Caesar and Alexander the Great doesn't have any official tomb or grave to visit. That would be cool. My roommates, when they went to Israel, they visit. They got to see the site where where Jesus was buried. I forget what the stone is called. The stone of. Let me see. Um, Let's see. Where he was laid. Yeah, what is this called though? Burial slab of Jesus in the church. Is that it? I don't know. But
But they got me this rosary and had it blessed on this slab, whatever it's called. I can't remember now. So that's really cool. You're getting into Roman history, if I couldn't tell. Yeah. I should try getting into some Roman history. The garden tomb is open to visitors Monday through Saturday between 8:30. Visitors are serviced with good facilities, which include toilets, drinking water, benches, and a well-stocked gift shop. Kind of bro moment, isn't it? The garden tomb? That's what I'm talking about? There was some word for the stone itself, I think. And I can't, like, it's just like this rectangular slab that he was laid down on. And I can't remember what that was called. Was it 4:30? Oh, I just remembered. I just backed on Kickstarter the Etherington Brothers art books. They put out these books called How to Think When You're Drawing, and they've got it. They're only ever available on their when they have a new Kickstarter up. So they're up to their 5th book, and they're offering like something like 10 different books. And I've tried to back. I tried to back their last Kickstarter, or well, I was holding off. I was going to wait till like I got paid again or something, and then back it, and then I forgot about it, and then I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I should go back that now before I forget again. And then I went to back it and missed out because it had just ended the day before. And that's happened to me on a couple of Kickstarter campaigns that I was going to back. So this one was down to 7 days, and I backed it. I didn't get the new book, but I got the first 3. They've got like all kinds of options where you can just back and get certain books if you want. So I got How to Think When You're Drawing, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. They call it the starter kit or whatever. 793. Oh yeah. I think that's what they're at right now, right? When I backed it, I thought it said they hadn't even. I thought it said they had only made £1,000 out of
like 5,000 that they were asking for. I was like, with 7 days left, they've only made that much money. I thought they were like big time Kickstarter guys. And I don't know what number it was showing me, but yeah, they've gotten over 700,000. I think I said seven, or I think I said five. Oh yeah, because that's what I thought I saw. 5,000 out of. I thought they were asking for 5,000, and they'd only made 1,000 so far. And no, they've made 793 pounds, and they've way exceeded their asking thing, their goal. So if you want to get some art books, and they post all the lessons on their Instagram, and I think they have a website for it. But personally, I'd like to have some books. I'd like those books in my collection. So I think in US dollars, I dropped like $130 on the first 3 volumes. £1 is $1.26. Yeah. That's over $1 million. What? Yeah, I guess it is. I guess it would be. Holy crap, they are big shots. I don't know. I got to get more commercials made because I got to go to the bathroom. But I have one available. And I don't know if you know who Jordan Peterson is, Radiation King, but I made this goofy Jordan Peterson commercial a while back. I'm just going to play it so I can run to the bathroom. But after that, I'll be right back. Oh, you do? Okay. Here's my Jordan Peterson commercial. I think it's going to autoplay. Hold on.
B stands for
Restart
Beatrice,
it.
except I don't.
I'll restart it. You just gotta slow down, Jordan. You gotta slow down. All right. Take it away, Jordan. I'll be back after this message.
My name is Jordan B. Peterson. The B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B, and that's all. You may know me for my world-famous books on behavior and discipline. Well, I have a brand new book with 12 more rules for young people, featuring brand new rules such as don't put gum in your hair unless you want a haircut. Those who color on the walls are doomed to repeat time out. And running with scissors is assuredly a one-way trip to chaos. Now, you might ask, well, why would I need 12 more rules to live by when I don't know what to do with the last 12? And I would answer that question with another question. Have you ever considered that rules themselves require rules of their own in order to properly follow them? If you haven't asked yourself that question, you might find that your life may soon be spiraling into an inescapable hell, the likes of which you might find rather disagreeable. This new book, called Jordan B. Peterson and his 12 Rules for Riding the Stupid, Smelly Bus for Kindergartners, is coming soon to a Kindle near you, or wherever Canadian-authored books are permitted. Yours in Christ, Jordan B. Peterson.
Oh, what a guy. So that's a Junie B. Jones book.
I don't remember the commercial already. I missed it. Oh, yeah. It's a Junie B. Jones book. Junie B. Jones and the stupid smelly bus. And every Junie B. Jones book used to begin with, "My name is Junie B. Jones. The B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B, and that's all." I used to read them out loud to my sister all the time. I did a great impression, thank you. I'm always meaning to put together more extra stuff for this channel, but I never seem to have as much time as I'd like. One of these days. That was just something I would like do in my car while I was driving around. And just be like, "My name is Jordan B. Peterson. The B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B, and that's all." I surely sound like a total mental patient when I'm in my car, because I just talk to myself and sing and do weird skits and stuff. I don't know. The B stands for Brezhnev. I don't actually like the former Soviet Union chairman. Let's see. I think this is what I'm looking at. Let's see. Oh, I think this is kind of messed up. I'll fix that to some capacity. You really took. Yep. Man, my stomach's all growly. I don't even feel hungry. I hope the microphone isn't picking it up. It's just it's like my parents' dog when he gets restless. He's just like rumbling around in the corner. My parents have this little Pomeranian. Let's see. I'm tired. Well, I'm not tired. I'm just tired of drawing at this point. Because I'm lazy. Last night after... So at the end of my stream yesterday, I don't know how you say it. My stream got raided, which sounds like a bad thing to me. I don't know, but I know it's not a bad thing, but it sounds like saying it. I feel like I'm saying something bad happened, but my stream got raided, so a bunch of people came in all of a sudden. It was really cool. That's the first time that's ever happened for my channel. And then at the end, I tried to raid my friend Crimson's channel, who's always in here, and because I knew she was starting a stream, and I didn't think it worked, but I guess it did. And then what? And so I jumped over to her channel, and I was chatting with her on Twitch for a while. Check out Crimson. She does cool stuff. She does. Last night she was drawing emotes for her Twitch channel that she's going to use eventually, and usually she does like sculpting on there, and now I forget what else, or like I caught her painting her sculptures recently, and she does all kinds of crafty stuff. She does a bunch of different stuff. She was talking last night how she'd like to eventually, maybe someday, do cooking streams where she'll bake stuff, and she bakes really cool stuff. Like I've got her on Instagram where she posts like dishes she's made. It's like, it looks like professional, like, I don't know, food photography like you'd see in magazines and stuff. She's really cool. She does all kinds of stuff. And she was like rattling off all this stuff that she does. And I'm like, holy crap, you do everything. I wish I knew how to do the one thing that I do, pretty much. And And I barely know that. I barely know how to draw a comic. So I'm going to do all these like anime speed lines. Like this thing is coming at him. That's funny. The line isn't even going down on the page. Let's try this one. I think was broken. No, this is... Yeah, that's the broken one. They can't all be broken. Watch God go touche. Oh, you said, are you... Oh, I'm not even on the dang screen. What a dork. You said, are you up for a challenge? Maybe. What's the challenge? Something nice? Am I good at German? 9. I may have just exhausted my German there. I know Mein Kampf, the phrase Mein Kampf. I know Ach du Liebe. Actually, I'm not even sure I know. I don't think I know what that means off the top of my head. Oh, Auf Wiedersehen. I know, yeah, I know O Tannenbaum. O Tannenbaum, O Tannenbaum, wie treu sind deine Blätter, etc. But that is the extent. O Tannenbaum, wie treu sind deine Blätter. Du grinst nicht nur zur Sommerzeit, nein, auch schon Winter, wenn es schneit. O Tannenbaum, wie treu sind deine Blätter. Why, thank you. Why do you ask, I wonder? What was the challenge? Did I have to know German to do it? Sure, I'll try and translate something. see. I feel like it's not pointing at the bottle anymore. Ein, zwei, drei, die best Partei und wir fünf, sechs, der best Konnex mit sieben, acht, der Warschauer Pakt und nun dein best Freund. What does that mean? That means one. Wait, hold on. I gotta think. One. Perhaps last. The best part and favorite among the Czechs. The best connection with 7 actors for community college and some of my best friends. You know what? I don't even know what I just said. So, but that's as close as I'm going to get. Close enough, says Radiation King. Do you want to give us the literal translation? What are you talking about? That was the literal translation. It means 1, 2, 3, the best party. 4, 5, 6, the best connections. With 7 and 8, the Warsaw Pact. And 9, your best friend. What is that? I should have recognized 1, 2, 3. That sounds like lyrics to something. It's from a Swedish band. Okay. think my roommate's home. I think he's wheeling in the garbage cans. So I think I am going to try and move ahead with making more commercials. Have any Discord? Did you join that? I think you were one of the people that joined. No, was that your art? I don't know who the new people were. Was that you that drew the guy? Peter Summer, I think his name was. Oh yeah, that was you? I thought it was you, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, I was listening to some of his music. I pulled him up on Spotify that night, and like his face, like a picture of him comes up when I searched him. I was like, oh yeah, see, he's right there. Nailed it. What was he singing in that I heard? Because I was, I think at the time I think I was assuming it was French, but it was probably German, right? Oh, he sings in Danish. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go over the death by fire thing a little more. Just need to see my brush is drying out here. There we go. Now that I've got it all inked, to make it pop a little more. And kind of when you vary your line weights, it kind of helps give depth to your art. Especially when like I've got like different line weights on the object. It kind of, I don't know, makes it stand out to me anyway. it's kind of since I started using that, it's kind of made my art a little bolder to me. It seems less timid, a little more impactful. Oh man, I'm always drawing off screen. You say, how grand is your story? Is it over the span of a few days? I want to say the main story is, but we also go into this bad guy's backstory a bit. So it kind of takes place, I want to say, I originally thought of it as being over 10 years, but I think it's longer than that. I would say like 20 years. We kind of keep coming back to his backstory throughout the book. And I want to say it spans like 20 years or so. But the present day story, the main story, takes place over it might just be, it's like a day or two. This is the bad guy. So the good guy is Bonehead here. He's our main protagonist. This is our antagonist, Denton Crux. The quirky father figure. He's like the corporate boss slash he's a scientist who kind of went into manufacturing poisons for some reason. I'm gonna say some reason. In the beginning of the book, the first scene, he's in an astronaut, what do you call it? A spacesuit, visiting another planet. What is... Yeah, the page I did yesterday. I think I did the meanest, snarliest looking picture I've done of him for the whole book. I didn't even reckon the page. I slide it under a book. Okay, back into the pile. And you said, therapist, Black Mesa scientist in Grim Fandango doesn't exist. Black Mesa scientist in Grim Fandango. I I don't know what that means. Is Grim Fandango a game? Is that it? I think you brought that up. I gotta see it because it wasn't even a I did a character that I would say kind of looked more like Grim Fandango, if that's the character's name. In my sketchbook, and I posted it to Instagram a long time ago. And somebody asked me, "Is that Grim Fandango?" And I looked it up then, and I was like, that does look kind of like him, only he doesn't have the marks above his eyes. That's pretty cool. It's an adventure game directed by Tim Schafer, developed by LucasArts and Microsoft Windows. It was the first adventure game by LucasArts to use 3D computer graphics overlaid on pre-rendered static backgrounds. Looks like something I might like. I'm terrible at games, though. Grim Fandango is the Skull game, and Black Mesa is the big bad corporation in Half-Life. Oh, gotcha. Have any character design pages laying around? Usually I just doodle stuff in my sketchbooks. And I have these all like dog-eared with post-it notes. Let me see. I just do character drawings all the time. And that's kind of where I come up with stuff. So a lot of these are on my buried in my Instagram. This is a drawing of a scene I pictured in this book, and so I used this drawing. I basically traced it into the book. This might be in the book somewhere. Oh, here's my Inktober drawings. I think that was an Inktober drawing, I'm pretty sure, but it's not by my other Inktobers. Oh yeah, I guess these were, that other stuff is just in between. Okay. A character of mine I haven't used yet, named Vladimir der Vanderbilt, with Grunkle Stan from Gravity Falls, because, I don't know, he seems reminiscent of him sometimes. Well, thank you. Oh, here's another Inktober drawing. I forget what the prompt was. But this guy's stepping out of a time machine, and there's a giant praying mantis, and the building's otherwise torn down around him. I think that might not have been an Inktober. I think that Halloween zombie eating a brain, I think that was the last Inktober that year. I don't know what this is. I'm trying to draw a weird perspective on this guy strumming a guitar. Here's a happy guy in his underpants. Young Denton Crux as a scientist. Kid with guitar. Basically, that's about all I do is character drawing. What's over here? I drew an otter for my friend, a little punk koala. That Time Machine reminds me of All Tomorrow, which is a great book and it has some of the best images I have ever seen in a book. Oh, is it a graphic novel? I'll have to look into that. I feel like this drawing started out cool, and then I drew the lamest looking dumb ghost ever. It looks like a bad drawing of a Luigi's Mansion ghost. I just got the name Eskimo Mo in my head. I think I even wrote it down here. Yeah, Eskimo Mo. And made him a mosquito. Let's see. This was, I got this idea in my head of a dragon who refused to come out of his shell when he was a baby and then kind of grew up with the egg shell around his head. I don't think that's a great drawing, but I kind of like the idea of that as a character. Here's a Cloud King with his cloud puppy best friend. This is my brother Liam, like a few years ago. There's a beaver looking all slick. That's actually a character I used to draw. I think I found a drawing of him in an old notebook and then tried to redraw him. It was very Ren and Stimpy inspired. Here's a ship in this book in Bonehead that the book kind of starts on. Just some random astronaut drawing of a monster in an astronaut suit. This is kind of a terrible drawing of a raccoon getting mad that his trash can was knocked over. If you ever draw a scene with one of those groovy Vegas female singers in them, I found some amazing lyrics she could sing. Some kid. Oh, here's a pencil drawing of my dad, but he's looking a little jowly there. That's supposed to be my dad. That was me trying to kind of copy somebody else's drawing. I was just trying to like imply the edge with a color instead of doing an outline. Some kind of, I don't know, guy. A Batman. Some kind of ghoul-faced dude. Caveman. I forget. I was drawing this for somebody for something. I don't know what the idea was. I love this drawing of this dinosaur, but I made his face in the shadow going the wrong way. So I've flipped it in some digital version of it, but it still bugs me. Dog space sci-fi hero guy. But yeah, on my Instagram, that's about all I post, stuff like that. That's an older notebook or an older sketchbook. I know, my face on the camera. People need to take a shot whenever I hit my glasses against the camera. Is that true, really? Oh, auto translate subtitles. That's almost as cool as your drawings. That's pretty cool. I see that now you can. I think if you subscribe to YouTube Premium, you can download videos. And I'm curious, can you just download any video if you have YouTube Premium? Or do they have to be activated to download? For me, I'm just really thinking about, I think I'd like to download my own videos that aren't up on StreamYard anymore, so I can clip stuff out of them and make like best of scenes. Like early on, I did a one chip challenge where it was like the super spicy one chip, and I ate it without like drinking any water. Or there's another time where my brother was on and he was making a song based on something I showed him, and he put it together on the show. And then so at one point of the and then my sister came on, and so at one point during that show, my brother was making a song, I was making a comic page, and my sister was solving a Rubik's Cube all at the same time. And I'd like to like download a bunch of old shows so I can like pull out cool parts like that. And just post them independently. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Now, does it let you pick from a list of languages? Like, what languages does it have, I wonder? Oh no, you said it auto translates, right? So I'm speaking to you in Scandinavian right now? Down here? This is not Scandinavian. That's my Magritte. Rene Magritte message to the people in Scandinavia. Now it's only on YouTube in his auto subtitles. Let's see, he should be in front of this coattail. Here's Billy. Let's see. Oh. I think after I finish this page, I'm going to go get something to eat. And then I'm working an overnight shift tonight from 10:30 p.m. to 8:30 a.m., which is a weird shift I've been picking up a lot lately. But hopefully I won't have to much longer for a while. I'm always thinking I won't have to anymore. And then something happens and I have to. Oh, okay. Oh, it's after midnight. Well, you have a good night. Thanks for coming by. Nice chatting with you. Good to see you again. I'm almost done here anyway. Okay. Adios. I wonder what the audio translate does with adios. Probably the same, I guess. Billy. I don't know if my roommate actually did come home. I might have just been hearing the neighbors. Oh wait, I need that. See, I should have trusted myself. They were outlined. I was like, I don't need to outline them. They'll look better if I just do 3 swoops. But the back is going to be all black, so I need to. go. Neck. Fingers. Oops. I didn't realize I still had that ruler on top of my page. Okay, then there's this like smoke. It's speeding at him. Or it was until he caught it. It's like, okay. It curls up. One isolated puff of smoke. Let's see. Well, I'm probably not going to see those outer ones because of black. I can do these inner ones. Okay, and I'm going to fill that. So when I sang O Tannenbaum earlier in German, I don't even know the English translation of that. I learned it because They Might Be Giants has this obscure single of O Tannenbaum they put out, where on the one side they've got them singing O Tannenbaum in German, and on the other side it's another super obscure Christmas song of theirs, where it sounds improvised, and the guy's just saying, "Every Christmas card I write has been stolen," pretty much over and over. but because I've always been such a big They Might Be Giants nerd. I learned how to sing O Tannenbaum in German many years ago. Though I only know the one verse. Let's see now. Oh man, I want more tea, but I'm out of tea here. I could go make another cup. That would require me to stop what I'm doing. Do I let myself run and press the button? Or do I keep plugging away? I'm gonna go hit the button. I'm gonna hit the button. I'm gonna do it. The button to heat up more water, that is. Okay. Then in like 6 minutes. It'll be heated. Every day, every Christmas card I write has been stolen. Has been stolen. Why are you writing Christmas cards every day? Okay, let's see. This is always the longest part of these pages is big black areas, which seem like the simplest part, end up dragging out the longest. Eyebrows above his face. That's how surprised he is. Oh, hey, Crimson's here. I was just talking about you not that long ago. We had Radiation King in here again. Yeah, I was just talking about how I was checking out your stream last night and we were chatting. And some of the stuff you do over there. Oops. What else were we talking about? I forget. I was trying to translate something from German to English without knowing German. I got some words right, I'm pretty sure. Oh, earlier I was talking about how I was going to eat some canned oysters last night, and I opened the can, stuck a fork in them, and like the insides were all green, and they smelled really bad, and I just tossed them. Like I ran outside and tossed them in the outside trash. But apparently the green is probably normal, and I might have just been put off by it. I don't know. Yeah, I keep thinking I'm going to be a tough guy and master canned seafood, but all I've been able to pull the trigger on is sardines. I eat sardines all the time now, but I just threw the oysters away, and another time I bought anchovies, and they just sat in my cupboard until they expired. I think I would have been sick. My mind might have just been playing tricks on me, but they smelled pretty foul. Though I'm pretty sure the expiration said it had another year to go. I guess it's like the plankton that they eat. I looked it up and it said it was probably normal, but I didn't look it up until today. Just out of curiosity. But I just immediately assumed that it wasn't right. I used to eat oysters with my dad. My dad would buy them once in a while and cook them, and I don't remember there being green anywhere in sight. But he would buy the ones that you shell yourself and then boil them, and we'd eat them on crackers and stuff. Yeah, I picked them up on a whim one day, thinking, "Oh, that'll be cool. I'll I'll eat them on camera or something." I'm glad I didn't open them on camera because I don't know what I would have done with them for the duration of the show. Because I don't know, eating them seemed pretty out of the question. I'm glad because I had the light off when I opened them. I'm glad I turned it on and checked it out though, because I almost blindly went into it. Because I was just sitting here in front of this computer with the light off. That's funny. Somebody said something about oysters recently. They're like, "Who likes oysters?" And this was on Facebook or something. And I said, "Ooh, sea snot, my favorite." I think it's funny when you eat stuff that grosses other people out. Like when I tell people I'll eat sardines, a lot of people uh, get real cringy about it. I think I gotta get rid of that. I thought it was the background, but I think it's supposed to be part of his arm right there. Otherwise, his arm looks too thin. Anchovies are best in the jars with the oils, but the only time I've ever used anchovies is for Caesar dressing and a few other Italian dishes. Yeah, I almost tried the anchovies, but never ended up doing it. Why do I imagine them being very vinegary? Do they put them in vinegar? Like, would they come in vinegar? That seems weird. Oh, he said you tried one, and the texture made my mouth. The texture in your mouth made you spit it out. Never tried them since. Oh, I didn't see this. When I was a kid, your dad would take you to the beach camping place, and some people had beach houses or shacks to stay in. There was a reef where you could walk on and dive off of. You dive and catch crayfish, and people would get oysters right off the reed. Oh, so you're talking about oysters? Yeah, my mom wouldn't try an oyster to save her life. She doesn't like shrimp either. My dad's a real big shrimp guy. I like shrimp a lot. My mom calls them rabarons, which I think has to do with them being rubbery. They should come in oil. Very fishy and salty. Reef, not reef. Oh, okay. My bad. I didn't even think anything of it. Yeah, I don't know why I imagine anchovies being vinegary, but if they're like any other canned seafood I've ever had, pretty much just sardines and tuna, they probably come in oil. I don't know what the can that I had said, but and then there was the time in Tennessee where I bought my sister. We went into a candy shop. I'm sure I told this even recently. We went into a candy shop, and at the checkout, we saw boxes with crickets in them, like dead full cricket, and it was like dusted in like cheese flavoring, and then there was like a barbecue one, and then there was another one, and it just had like, or well, it had like, I think it was a box of multiple crickets that were like flavored, and I was like, who would do that? And my sister was like, I would eat a cricket. I don't care. And I was like, you would not eat a cricket. And she insisted she would. So I was like, okay, I'm going to buy them for you. And I bought them. And that night I was trying to get her to eat one. And she's like, nah, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. And then I guess when I fell asleep that night, she was like throwing them at my mouth and trying to trick me in my sleep to eat them. They shouldn't be rubbery. I don't think they're. I guess I get. I guess I get it. Being described as rubbery, but I don't know. Shrimp doesn't bother me that way. I can't eat shellfish like crayfish, lobster, crab, prawns. I like crab. I feel like I like that imitation crab meat that comes in like bricks of crab meat. I don't think I've ever had that much crab meat from that was not imitation. But I like crab legs and stuff. Lobster, I feel like lobster isn't as good as crab to me. But shellfish in general, I feel like there's never enough meat to them. Oh yeah, deathly allergic. Used to eat them when you were a kid, but the toxin in them stays in your system and gets more toxic the more you eat. One tiny little lick of a prawn could kill me, yet my doctor won't prescribe me an EpiPen. She says, you know about it to avoid it. But I don't know. What if something surprises you someday? I mean, nobody with a nut allergy eats nuts on purpose, you know? That's why they have, isn't that why they have the EpiPen? Or nobody gets stung by a bee on purpose. He said, I've been like, okay, I'll buy them and make her eat them. Yeah. What if I eat out somewhere, or eat out and somewhere cooks prawns or crayfish next to your dish and cross-contamination and all that? Exactly, yeah. That's the whole point of having one. I'm glad I don't have any allergies that I know of. And then, like you say, stuff can kind of like creep on as you age. Dang it. Booty. Alien booty. So what do you got going on today, Crimson? I think after this I'm going to get me some food. And then I think I'm going to try and nap because I'm doing an overnight shift tonight where I'm going to be working all night till 8 in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, tonight and tomorrow night. And then, God willing, that'll be the last overnight shifts I have to do for a while. But I always think that. I was just saying a little while ago. I always think that I'm done with them, and then something happens. Somebody else quits the overnight shift, or somebody gets violently ill for a month. Because it's usually when I pick one up, it's a week at a time. Like I have to do them for a full week. Because the overnight shift where I work, they do 7 days on, 7 days off. So they get 7 days off in a row, but they work 7 days in a row. But I only have to do 2 this time. Got not a lot at all going on. How much longer did you stream last night? I think I was on with. I think I was watching for an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half. I think the time you streamed before that, I think you said you were on for 7 hours. Not sure. Did 5 hours total. Were you just drawing those emotes the whole time? Yeah, Crimson was showing me all the cool things you can do on Twitch. She's got all kinds of like little animated, like when you come into the chat, you've got like these little avatars going across the bottom of the screen. Like mine was Donkey Kong. She was showing me how you can get him to do stuff. Though, so if I wanted, I could just enter that into the chat, and my guy would jump up and down. That's the idea? I don't know why, but I was afraid to just start typing random commands into the chat. But I should have just done it. Yeah, and talking. Oh, my roommate is home. I couldn't remember if I heard him come inside. Now I'm hearing him. Stream avatars, yes. And under the stream, there's a box for them. Yeah, I should. I was looking at it, but I felt self-conscious about just trying them out. Because I have a guilty soul. I don't know. Oh, you said, think you can click the buttons or type the word. Like in the list? Where they're all typed out by you? Like click that? I don't have to worry about trying things out on my stream. I'm always trying things on there and failing. Like how my sounds were working, but the animations weren't because somehow I got logged out my gift bot. I don't remember animations not working. I'm trying to remember. There was the one where that you pulled up where with the hugging, and it was like Gur saying, "Somebody needs a hug." Now, under the video bit of the stream, there's a stream avatar box. It has a bit with command. Oh, okay. Yeah, I had to log into that. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Because when you joined, the raid animation didn't show up. That's right. I'm going to have to turn the Grr Hug sound down because every time it's played when I'm not expecting it and I jump and have a mild heart attack. I got so tired toward the end I didn't even finish my emotes. Lotus played the hug and it scared me so much I swore. And almost dropped the drawing tablet. Let's see, almost done here. Oh wait, there is one more bunch of black. An extra thing I've got to do on this page. Say split this page down the middle. I'm gonna paint all this black. So I'm gonna need more ink because I'm almost out in my little beer bottle cap here. Oh yeah, I was gonna have more tea. Here, I'll be back in a moment. I'm just gonna pour a cup. Booyah. Nothing scalds your mouth like a fresh cup of tea. Let's see, so there's that. Now I got 4 more ink. It's not pouring very fast, but that's fine. I think that's plenty. Ugh. I'm going to pull it back and reveal ink all over my artwork. Oh, thank goodness. I should really get a bigger brush for doing stuff like this. I'm sure I do have big brushes that I could use for stuff like this. But I'm not going to go brush hunting. I could probably even just do this in Photoshop, honestly. But I don't think I'm gonna at this point. See how I'm not doing that? You can see it. You see it with your eyes. Oh man, I was cracking up when you were talking about your parents' cockatiel, right? That bird sounds like a riot. You've talked about him here before. Mr. Coffee, is it? Which I love that as a name too. Mr. Coffee is an actual brand of like coffee filters or coffee pots or something, isn't it? Oh, Cocky Boy. That's it. Cocky Boy. I'm going to pour even more ink. Nothing's coming out. Usually I have a little, I don't know what happened to it. Usually it's sitting right here. A little bent up paper clip that I use to clear the little spout that the ink comes out of. Let's do it. Where did it get to? Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can make it last. Cocky Boy makes way more sense for a cocktail. Oh, bent up paper clip. It's your time to shine. Don't be shy, bent up paper clip. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't know. I don't know where it did go. Let's see. Oh, my kingdom for a bent up paper clip. Here, I'm going to take the whole cap off. This could be dangerous. If I drop this bottle. Okay, there we go. I get real nervous about dropping the bottle when I take the whole cap off. Because that sounds like something I would do. Pull this out a bit. You said you don't know if you've seen the. Don't know if I've seen the Netflix show Somebody Feed Phil. But I love that show, and I mentioned it on stream yesterday. But I wish there was a new season. What's that? The name sounds a little familiar, but I've definitely not seen it. Sounds like something that would have been on. It sounds like something that would have been a TV show, like a bad sitcom with like a puppet in the early 90s. Last night when I finally woke from a long nap and got in a call with Dee Dee, I looked at Netflix and there was a new season. The guy who wrote the show Everybody Loves Raymond, he does a food travel show. Oh, I think I have heard of that. Yeah. If it were up to me, everything would have puppets in it. Actually, I'm not that wild. I'm not so into puppets, but I guess I do kind of have a puppet on my show, right? With Grover Cleveland. It's a kind of puppet. Okay. One more dot of ink. All right. Here's the page. Bonehead throws a bottle. Catch! The bottle comes hurtling at Denton Crooks, who does catch it. But he drops Billy TV, who he was previously strangling. And Billy falls on his butt. Okay. Oh, I am going to do one more little tiny, teensy tiny bit. I think that works for me. Okay. Time to stop drawing. I'm going to go get me some lunch and then probably take a nap. What time is it? 6:30 almost. Didn't think this would be a 3-hour page, but I guess so. I don't think I'll be able to pull off a second page today. I was saying I might do 2 pages yesterday, but yeah, if I was a bit quicker. Me and Radiation King were doing a lot of chit chat, and then all that extra black, I think, slowed me down. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with a new page at some point of the day. I don't know how tomorrow's going to work. But anyway, this has been Ink the Book Show. Good to see you, Crimson. Check out Crimson's broadcast, Crimson Veil on Twitch. No, it's just Crimson_V, right? My inky hands. Thank you. And a good day night, she says. Have a good one at work and a good day night. I will. Yes, but Vale was also right. Yeah, so Crimson_V on Twitch. She does all kinds of stuff over there. She's crafty, and she's fun. All right, take care, everybody. I'm out of here. Goodbye.